Hi and welcome back to the channel. I think you can guess what the video is going to be about mostly, but we're going to review the company that we're going to work with and the new shoes that we need to have for the MK3. And I'm going to start off doing the wide body kit with a good friend of mine, and to do that I need some new shoes for the MK3 to line up everything. Most of you maybe already have guessed it, but yes, it's actually 59 North wheels that are going in the collab with this build. And why I'm choosing 59 North wheels? I'm just gonna go through a little bit of history, and then I'm gonna reveal what we're gonna have to this car. So 59 North wheels I've had on 4 different cars now. They have a big variety of different wheels and setups, and it fits both for drifting and it fits for show cars or the daily use. I love their service, I love the design, it's for an affordable price and a good quality, and the big library of wheels that they have. But over to the reveal of what wheels we're gonna have on the MK3. Before I've chosen wheels for the fitment and everything, this car is both gonna go really fast in the straight, but it's gonna go sideways, and I love step flips. So okay, I'm not gonna bug you anymore. Let's reveal the 59 North wheels that I've chosen and that 59 North wheel wanted to see on the MK3. I've never seen this live, I've just seen it on the picture. I really hope they are as good looking as they are on their homepage. So bear with me. You want to see them? I want to see them. So in 3, 2, 1, go! Damn! Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. This is what I like. I love the polished lip, I love the step lip, and the biggest thing with these wheels, why I've chosen them, is that they have a big center cap with the 59 North logo on it. I'm gonna unpack the wheel and show you more details, but also I love these chromed bolts, and I think it's gonna stand out and highlight the wide fenders that we're gonna build on this car. Here's the center cap with the 59 North wheels logo. Here you can see it. I love that wheel. So the specs that I'm running on this car is gonna be, I'm gonna have 10-inch in the back, and I'm gonna have the 9-inch in the front. But as I said, these are the DO10s. I think I've had the DO8, the DO5, the DO2, and I've been super chuffed with the quality. I've never had a wheel break down, crack, or anything. And it's not just because of the collab I'm doing with them, it's just from years of punishing wheels, I guess, in the streets of Gothenburg, and then they have hold up. And they also sell merch. So the cap I have on me, they have tons of them. Sunglasses, shirts, hoodies, everything. Check the homepage out, and now we're gonna move over a little bit more of talking and showing the different wheels. So the difference between the 11 wheel or the 10-inch wheel and the 9-inch wheel. So the bolt pattern that I chose on this wheel is 5 through 114.3, but it's double bolt patterns, so I think it's 120 through 5 also. You can choose both of them. So with the back subframe and the hubs that I have from the Dodge on this car now, I need 140.3. Both the 9-inch and the 10-inch wheel, they have ET25. So that's good for me. That means that I have a lot of coverage or space back here for the chassis, and then it means also that the brakes that I have chosen to this build is actually gonna fit behind the wheel. That could be the problem, but otherwise you can see on the 10-inch that we have a little bit of a wider lip than on the 9-inch wheel. It's not the biggest difference, but I really like the staggered look that I'm gonna have on the car. So in the front a little bit thinner, and in the back a little bit meatier, and I'm gonna go for the race street tire. I haven't really decided on which manufacturer yet, but I really think 59 North wheel did an amazing job designing these wheels, and manufacturing them. And really, just a little bit of a curiosity, they are stamped with a pass, so they are fully controlled, and it says 2024. So all good with the check, I guess, the quality insurance on the wheels in the manufacturing. So moving over to why we did choose this wheel, and I wanted the German style and look on the car. The MK3 is of course the German car, and then we're gonna have to cut up the whole back section or back fender. And soon I'm waiting for a good friend, Rosendorf. He's coming up. He's been on the channel before. If you don't know who he is, he's a very well-known metal fabrication guy. He also is a magician with plastic welding. We've known each other for over 10 years, and he's made, his last creation is actually a C70. I'm gonna put in the original build here, or the OEM look on it, and then the last edition that he won the best Volvo in whole Sweden. We're just gonna have an amazing weekend. We're just gonna have a friend and buddy weekend. He's gonna help me out. We're gonna attempt to build the wide body a little bit different than I'm usually used to doing, but I'm gonna go more in detail in later sections. Be back soon. So I've been joined by Mr. Rosendorf, and I already presented him or did a representation for him. So this is Martin Rosendorf, and why I asked him to be a part of this build is to show you a different way how to wide body kit cars. So I do it the old school way. So I do the English wheel and a rubber hammer and a sand bag. And you're a little bit different. You do it with metal rods. Yeah. So he builds up a skeleton in the beginning, and then I guess I would say the skeleton makes out a really, really good foundation to put the plates on, so the metal sheets, to weld it on. So I've done it a couple of times. Yeah. I haven't done it in this big of a project. So we're gonna be giving you guys a little bit tricks and nicks that we can provide you. And I would say this is far more stable than what you see on TikTok or Instagram when they do it with foam or with wood. So we are gonna do it all in metal. So we're gonna use 6mm rods to make the skeleton, and then we're gonna use 1mm thick metal plates, or the metal sheets. So we began tracing in the back wheels, and that took like 3 hours, because if you do it wrongly now, everything's gonna be off. So we had to adjust the camber, we had to adjust the toe. So now especially the height, and as you can see here, the wheel is very far in behind, but that's because of the new Dodge chassis that we have put on. We did it this way because I wanted much more space when we feather in and feather out. And I don't know, look at this. This is kind of a hillbilly style, but I had to use straps to strap down the effing car into the ground so it wouldn't rise when I rose up the lower control arms, because the car wanted to race, and that because I have the engine still in the car and it's empty in the back, so it's super light. So so I anchored it down at the wooden floor that I have here, and now it's stable, and we measured everything like 100 times. So Martin, we're gonna start off boxing everything in the lower section first.
Yes.
So what I mean is that we're gonna box out the width that we want to have here. We both usually begin at the lowest part of the car. There you start boxing it out in the width you want to have. And I guess you can see the width that we have to take, because I use a 20mm spacer and the wheel, and you can see, yeah, how much we're gonna have to box it out. But this build is going to be crazy. So we're starting with the lowest foundation and building us up higher and higher, and it's going to be really wide, and that's how we like it, right? Crazy. Because if you look at your car, how wide, that's 17 centimeters wider each side. Yeah. And we measured out here, we're at 16. I told them we need to more spaces. Now I think that's going to be fine. So we're going to trace out with some tape where we're gonna cut and clean off, take away the color, the paint, and then we're gonna use the rods, the metal rods, to build out the skeleton. Yeah. So I would say, enjoy the process. I'm gonna do a little bit of a voiceover, so I'm gonna explain what we do, because it's gonna be so loud in here now. So enjoy the making of the skeleton, and then you're gonna see a really cool wide body evolve from this skeleton. But enjoy.
Let's begin.
Okay, I'm talking too much. Let's begin.
So guys, as I said before, we need to remove a lot of paint to be able to weld onto the sheet metal later on. Now we're just tracing out a little bit what we're gonna cut off from the old fender, and why we're gonna do this is to make space for the wheel movement, and of course we want to know where the skeleton is gonna be fitted. So we're just going by feel here, taking away excess material. We're gonna refine this when we're done with the over fender and the wide body, of course. So as I said in the beginning of this video, we're gonna build from the bottom and up, and as you can see, we're using a really long straight ruler here. It's very important to get the side skirt perfect, but you want to have a little bit of an incline. You don't want to have water standing on top on the side skirt too long. Could give you some problems. This is like a little puzzle, so we're cutting up small pieces that we're going to use to form out the design of the side skirt that we want to. We weld them on, and then we cut off the excess material.
It's a little bit steamy in the workshop right now. We're all at work, so Martin is doing the same thing that we did on the left side. Now he's doing that on the right side. We're just gonna go through it a little bit. So what we did was just wanted to have a really super straight support in the bottom. Then we know that the upper part is gonna be perfect. Now he's boxing the rear box first, then the front box, and now he's gonna go the whole way with the rods and knocks off. I guess that was an adjustment. And me, yeah, I saw that Matthias has a perfectly fine car, and that's gonna go to the scrap yard. So I thought, make it easy for me and Martin. I cut out the front fenders and the back fender from the MK4, and that's mostly to get the fender lines or the outer section of the fender to make it a much easier work for us on the MK3. So I cut them out. Here you have the loose pieces, and what I want to have on the MK3 later on is this section. This is perfect. I don't have to weld it. I don't have to sit for hours and hammer it out to get this perfect. We're gonna take these ones, put them on the MK3, and then build the wide body kit. So I guess a lot of cutting in the workshop right now and a lot of happening. So I'm gonna try to slow down and explain it piece by piece later on for you how we're doing. During the years that we have experienced, me and Rosendorf, is that if you use the whole side of the panel and not cut up in like 10 slices, you're gonna get so much less welds, and you're gonna have so much easier to do your prep work for paint. So some people, they use like a little sheet here, the next sheet, the next sheet, and next sheet. You have so much weld, and you create so much heat and tension into the panel, and that's gonna make your life really hard in the end when you're gonna prep for paint to get everything straight and everything. So that's just a tip for you. Next step, Martin, is to just weld this up. Oh, yeah. And then start with the box in the back that you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but it's like an inlet box. So with air, we're doing it really
for the
brakes. Yeah, so we're gonna have a box on the side with the brake intake, so the cold air goes into the brake in the back. You're gonna see, it's gonna be epic.
So as recommended, I'm now cutting out the whole sheet that we're gonna add to the side skirt, and yes, it's gonna be a long one, but as we said, it's gonna save you so much time in all the body work and the preparations before paint. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's very important, but I think this is gonna be so cool.
What I'm gonna do now is to prepare before welding, and very important is to use wax and grease remover. So I'm gonna take the oil off from the plates. The oil is there just to sustain them so they don't rust. And then we're gonna prep this side, so the skeleton, also with wax and grease remover. But foremost, we're gonna use a Scotch-Brite. And a Scotch-Brite is just, you can find it in a local store, hardware, and it's like a 360 grit, but it actually, you can reach a lot of tough places with this one. So we're just gonna scotch it off, wax and grease remover, and then the most important thing is that we're gonna prep it with zinc paste or zinc color, and that's to prevent corrosion. If you're gonna have moisture or water condensing within the skeleton or in the box, that's gonna rust right away. So what we're gonna do when we're done with this is that you could spray the inside with anti-corrosion. I'm gonna show you later on in the process in the video what products I use, but you just push in a lot of fluids and it sticks to the metal on the inside and prevents then the corrosion to build or the rust to start. Wax and grease remover, then the Scotch-Brite, then the zinc spray. I use this because I can weld in it and it's not gonna catch fire. And then after we're gonna prep with some Tirsen anti-corrosion wax on the inside. Whew. Okay everyone, so the skeleton is now primed with the zinc coating, so everything's zinc coated, so we're not gonna get any corrosion. And as you saw before in the video, I zinc coated the plates that we're now gonna weld, and we're taking precautions, so we all three are gonna hold up the plates. Plates are on the ground there. We're gonna place them, the first one underneath, hold it up, and then the rest excess material that sticks out, we're just gonna cut off. And then yet again, zinc coat. You can never get too little zinc on there. You don't want it to rust. I can't preach it 100 times. So I'm gonna put you on a time lapse because nobody of us are gonna be able to film. Okay guys, my voice is soon gone, but we're coming way further than I thought. I think the clock is like 1 or 2, middle of the night. The boxing on the left side is actually done. And I've shown you a little bit in the videos how we've done, but now we just spot welded it, but we fully welded it on this part and this part, because now we're moving further with the box that I so-called call it. But this is going to be like an air inlet, and we're going to have a tube that goes into the box and around the wheel and into on the backside of the wheel to the brakes. So we're going to actually have active airflow for the brakes. And yes, maybe overkill, but I've always wanted to do it, and Martin always loves my dumb ideas, I guess. Yeah, so this is going to be like a side box, and on this side box we're going to try to use the old trim, and or we're not gonna use the old one. We're gonna make new ones in steel, but we want the MK3 era to still be in the build. So we're gonna make steel ones that goes from here and out towards the wide body that comes here. So what Mattis is doing now is preparing the metal. So he's shaving down all the layers of Bondo that are already put on the car once at the time when I built this car in only 1 month. I know, no excuse, but what we did now was actually cut out from the donor car from the MK4. So we're gonna use the front section, the front part of the fenders from the MK4, because it had a really good arch. You can see here. So that was what I cut out for a couple hours ago. We made a slice here to like take the whole radius a little bit more narrow around the wheel. It's really hard to explain, but we cut out a piece here and then you can get it more narrow. Yeah, so we took off a little bit. You could almost not see it on the camera, but we took a slice off on the inside and the outside to shrink it together, and then the radius around the wheel is much cleaner and nicer than it is on the MK4. Why are we taking that one? That's a good question. You save so much time in making that profile perfectly round, and you get that step edge out from the arch. So I would say you save like 4 or 5 hours on each side, just taking OEM ones. So that's a huge tip for you. So Martin is prepping for that. I'm gonna do the side panels for the box. It's gonna be 1 plate on the inside, 1 on the outside, inside, because I don't want to be having people looking into this and then saying that you can see the rods. The skeleton. So it's gonna be boxed in. It's gonna be smooth and nice all over the place, and taking it step by step. And then the hard part comes, fusing in the taillights and making the big arch in the back. Yeah, that's gonna be what we've spent 1.5 days now.
Yeah.
And more, and we've been
Day and night.
and we've been doing this for 15 years. You've been doing this for almost 20, right?
Beginning in 98.
98. Yeah, and me 2008.
Yeah.
It takes time to make custom things, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
He took his whole weekend off just to come down and make some crazy steelwork with me in the workshop. So yeah, I know we're crazy, but on to the next step. I don't want to do this. So what we have to do is get the car down on the ground, sitting on its shoes, because we want to align the wide body to the wheel alignment that we have on the car. And I put so many hours into this front conversion. This is MK4 front fenders fused into the MK3 front fenders, and then everything else done. So I'm stupid enough that I'm cutting into these. I would rather give it to you guys instead, because it would be much more better in the heart, I would say. But I don't have the time, unfortunately, so I have to cut into these front fenders. So I have to take the angle grinder and cut this nice piece away to begin with. But hopefully I can use the outer section into the new fenders that I'm gonna build. Oi, 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 now the car is on its feet for the first time after all the modifications that we did. Engines in, complete modification in the rear. Finally it's on its feet. And it's starting to look quite mean, and it looks really, really strange from this angle. But now you can see how much wider the car is gonna be. And yes, we have done the modifications of the headlights or of the tail lights, and that's a separate video, so I'm not going to show you too much about that. And the engine is in, and that was the other clip or the video that you saw when we mounted the Volvo T5, and we were aiming for 400 to 500 horsepower in this beauty. And we can, on this side, yeah, I just traced up an extension of the side skirt or the side box, whatever you call it. So we're in the stage right now. The car is on its feet. The alignment is done in the front and in the back. So the camber, we had 1.5. Yeah, and in the back we have 0.06. It doesn't matter. We can now proceed with the wide body. Clock is 2 o'clock in the middle of the night again. Oh, why we were doing this. Yeah, jumping in the future again when we proceed with the wide body. Bloopers. And finally, Mr. Rosenhoff is back in the house, and we started something really cool on the car.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be sick. You saw us transform the side skirts and the boxes, and now,
Rear fender.
look how wide this little puppy's gonna be. That's the that's the wheel width, and we're starting off making the skeleton of the rear fender, and we're not going to show you more than this, but you're going to be blown away of how the result of this is going to be looking when we're more and more going towards the finish of it. But this is just a sneak peek, and then we're going to go into the nitty-gritty.
So guys, now moving over shortly to the front fenders. It's similar with the process making everything else. So we're doing a skeleton, we're utilizing the MK4 inner liner, and now we're gonna go move over to cutting out some wallpaper to be able to cut out the pieces in sheet metal that we want to weld to the front fenders. This is just making sure that everything's gonna fit, and then we're gonna go for it. I'm so freaking surprised what paper and tape can make, but yeah, now the design is much more clear how it's gonna end up.
So I just realized that this video is gonna be quite long, so I think I'm gonna end it. But before I end it, I want to show you the progress we made. So with the wheels and with the wide body and everything. And I forgot to film the process of laying the metal sheets onto the front fenders. So I'm sorry for that, but as you saw, we had the templates that we cut out in the paper or the wallpaper that I used, and then we cut it out in the metal that we're going to use. And it's in the front, we're going to go quite heavy. It's 1mm sheets. I'm going to try to translate that into the American grade, but in the back, we're gonna proceed with a little bit thinner, 0.75 or 0.6, to be able to form it a little bit better. But hold your horses. So here comes the front fenders with the metal sheet just tacked on. It's just to give us a little bit of a picture how it's gonna look. So in 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, they are starting to form out really good. And now for once you can see the wheels matching up to the wide body that I want to think, or I want to picture this car. As you can see, quite flat and nice, and it goes into this cavity. And I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I think this is so freaking cool, and it's gonna be epic when it's done with paint and everything. And just tag along on the build. You're gonna get my picture of the whole process, but I love how these wheels are fit on the car, and I think that the whole concept is gonna be around the wheels and the wide body on the car. And what I can show you in the back is that we came a little bit further. So you saw the whole process of boxing in this part And now with the skeleton that we have here, and it's not completely done yet, but as you can see from here, you can now picture how wide this car is gonna be in the end. And with these Seconova tires from 59 North wheels, this is gonna be epic. And of course, we're gonna add huge brakes on this because I need that with the amount of horsepower we're gonna have on this car. So I think in the next video, I'm gonna surprise you with something else that we are gonna add to the car. So don't miss the next video because I always bring goodies for you. So you know what to do. Just hit that subscribe button and please like. And as I always say, have a good morning, good evening, or a good night, wherever you are. Bye bye. Hej då!